organizations or whether they're in academia or journalism. The kinds of people who are Eisenhower Fellows are the kinds of people who have already demonstrated capabilities professionally and leadership professionally. But more than being leaders professionally, they are leaders in their community. In some countries, we find people who are leaders in their organization, but not in their community. So they are leaders in a genuine sense of the word, and they're making a difference. The second thing that is so very important is that they show potential. Now, when I think about the 1,850 people who have been Eisenhower Fellows over the last 56 years, I can say they've been successful people based on 4 have become heads of government. Well over 100 have become cabinet ministers in their national governments. Even more have become chief executive officers of for-profit companies. Others have led civil society organizations and been rectors of universities, journalists and columnists and respected figures. And that's one kind of achievement. But at Eisenhower Fellowships, we're not so really interested in the title. We're interested in what the person achieves. And the statistic for me that is most meaningful about Eisenhower Fellowships, and why for me it's so exciting to be with Eisenhower Fellows all around the world, in the 108 countries in which we still have fellows, even though we focus now on 40-something. The statistic for me that is most meaningful about Eisenhower Fellows is that, well, something over 50% of Eisenhower Fellows have been engaged after their fellowships in changing their societies. Think about it. Think about what that statement means. These are people who are not just changed personally, not just changed in an organizational sense, but they're involved in changing societies. And for me, it's a great pleasure to see Eisenhower Fellows who are people who are changing the world. We say that what is an Eisenhower Fellow? He's a leader. He's part of a global network that's connected by a shared experience, the Eisenhower Fellowship, by the trust that comes from being an Eisenhower Fellow, bettering the world around them. Now, our fellows come to us through selection committees in the 48 countries in which we operate. They come to the United States for 7 weeks, 1 program in the spring, 1 in the fall. Next week we will welcome 20 fellows from 20 different countries, and in the fall we'll welcome, actually it's 19 fellows this spring and 21 fellows this fall. The fellows this fall are part of what we would say is a program with a theme, and the theme this fall is women's leadership. Last year we did fueling growth in the environment. We had a South Asia program that Manju was in, and we had an all-India program that Sandra and Ms. Menon were in. And they come to the United States for 7 weeks. They travel. They meet people who are in their profession. They go to big cities and little cities. They exchange views with the people whom they meet. It's not an internship. It's not academic like Fulbright. It's an opportunity to try ideas against new people and hear new ideas from new people. The object that we set for fellows at the start of their fellowship is define 1, 2, no more than 3 things that you want to try to crystallize in your mind, so that when you go back to your jobs, when you go back to your countries, there's something that you can do that will help you to really make an additional difference in the work that you do. We talk a lot about the Eisenhower Fellowship program, but the other part of Eisenhower Fellowships is that Eisenhower Fellowships is a lifetime experience. When fellows come to the United States, when they start the program, we give them a key to the front door of our building. and we say, this is your home in Philadelphia. And it's surprising how often we are surprised when somebody turns that key in the door, walks in and says, hi, I'm a fellow from 1990, or I'm a fellow from 1972. We have fellows that date all the way back to President Solomon Demirel of Turkey, who was a fellow in 1954. The alumni network is really where fellows and our sponsors get a return on the investment, because the fellows have met people in the United States, and we have a USA program that sends fellows to places like India. They meet people during their program. They meet people who are part of their program, the fellows with whom they go on their program. And then they meet the others who are alumni. And we've set another and a last goal, and I'm going to stop then rattling on about Eisenhower Fellowships. It's not enough just to meet people. As I said, for the program, we want them to do things that are specific, and now we're trying to encourage alumni all around the world to band together as alumni and make a difference in communities. And one of the things that I'm very hopeful for, and one of the things I've been talking about during my trip through South Asia, is seeing the fellows in South Asia, in Pakistan, in India, in Bangladesh and Sri Lanka, seeing them work together on one issue that is a passion for them, something whereby pooling their ideas they can come up with conclusions or options or recommendations on some kind of issue that's important here in South Asia. We've talked about lots of different things: the property rights of the new immigrants to cities, historic preservation, the impact of climate on climate refugees. There are so many different things. I'm not going to try and tell our fellows, but I guess I would say watch this space, because we're very hopeful that 18 months, 2 years from now, there'll be something that Eisenhower Fellows have done in this region, as we are working in South Asia, Southeast Asia, and the Middle East, to do something that makes a difference in the lives of people around them. Ladies and gentlemen, I can only echo what Sandra Mishra said, that the Eisenhower Fellowship experience is a unique experience. It's a special experience. It's an opportunity for those of you who are chief executives and ministers and head departments whose staff gets the opportunity. I would say it's a special opportunity that you should encourage them. You should encourage them to take, as Manju was encouraged to take his fellowship, because the return on the investment for you, the opportunity cost that you pay, the return you will get is larger than you can possibly imagine. And we look for good people, men, women of all professions. I'm delighted to be here. I'm so pleased that you would share your New Year's with me, with Eisenhower Fellowships. I'm so appreciative that Manju has drawn his friends together. I'm staggered by that backdrop. I haven't quite figured out how we're going to pack it in my suitcase later tonight so that I can take it home and put it on my apartment wall. In fact, it reminds me of a painting that I was in an art gallery in New York, I think, and they had these very large pictures up on the wall, and the guy was telling me, this is you. This would be perfect for you. And I was looking at this sort of large painting, and he told me the price, and I knew it wasn't really me, but I told him, even if I could afford the price of the painting, I cannot afford the price of the house that I would have to build in order to put it up on the wall. But we're looking for a mural for Eisenhower Fellowship's office, and that's kind of touching. Anyway, thank you very much. I'm looking forward. I'm hoping that we're going to get a chance for you all to have dinner. So I should stop talking. Thank you, and I'm delighted to meet so many of you.